In a small village nestled between rolling hills and lush fields, there lived a man named Samuel. He was a humble farmer, known for his tireless work ethic and unwavering love for his two sons, David and Michael. For 20 long years, Samuel toiled under the sun, planting crops and tending to the land. He also took on odd jobs whenever he could, all to provide his boys with the best education possible. Samuel dreamed of a brighter future for them, one that would lift them from the chains of poverty that bound him. As the years passed, his sacrifices bore fruit. David, the elder son, excelled in school and eventually became a renowned doctor, respected by many in the city. Michael, the younger son, had a natural flair for business and quickly rose to become a successful entrepreneur, amassing a fortune worth billions. Samuel watched with pride as his sons achieved their dreams, believing that all his hard work had finally paid off. However, fate can be cruel. One fateful day, Samuel fell ill with a terrible disease that left him paralyzed on one side of his body. The vibrant man who had once worked tirelessly in the fields now found himself confined to his modest home, struggling to care for himself. As his health deteriorated, he reached out to David and Michael for help, but they were too consumed by their own lives and ambitions to notice their father's plight. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Samuel became a shadow of his former self, abandoned by the very sons he had sacrificed everything for. The villagers who once admired him for his dedication began to mock him. They whispered behind his back, accusing him of witchcraft and claiming that his misfortune was a punishment for sins unknown. Unable to bear the humiliation any longer, the villagers chased him from the village, forcing him into the unforgiving bush where he would suffer alone. With no shelter and little food, Samuel endured harsh weather conditions and relentless hunger. Days turned into years of silent suffering. He often reminisced about the laughter of his boys and the dreams he had for them, dreams that now felt like distant memories. As despair consumed him, he felt his heart grow heavy with bitterness. On what he believed to be his last day on earth, he lay beneath a tree and uttered a curse upon his ungrateful sons. "May you know the pain of abandonment," he whispered, tears streaming down his weathered face. When Samuel's lifeless body was discovered by the villagers, they felt a twinge of guilt. They informed David and Michael of their father's passing, urging them to give him a proper burial. But the sons, living lavishly in the city, dismissed their pleas. They were too engrossed in their own lives to even attend their father's funeral. Not long after Samuel's burial, David's life took a dramatic turn. A scandal erupted when he assaulted a female client in a moment of rage, leading to the loss of his medical license. Suddenly stripped of his identity as a respected doctor, he found himself relying on Michael for support. For a few months, it seemed like Michael could carry them both. His businesses thrived as he navigated the corporate world with skill and charm. But then disaster struck. An unexpected market crash caused Michael's empire to crumble overnight. With mounting debts and no way out, both brothers found themselves at rock bottom. As they sat together in their empty apartment, surrounded by reminders of their former glory, they began to reflect on their past actions. Guilt gnawed at their hearts as they recalled the sacrifices their father had made for them. The long days under the sun, the nights spent worrying about their future. They realized too late that they had taken their father's love for granted. Driven by remorse, they rushed back to the village where they had grown up, hoping to find their father alive and forgive them for their neglect. But when they arrived, they were met with sorrowful faces and whispers of regret from the villagers who had once admired Samuel. "It's too late," an old villager said softly, shaking his head. "Your father has passed." The brothers fell to their knees, overwhelmed with grief. They could only imagine the pain their father must have felt in his final days, the loneliness and abandonment that haunted him until his last breath. Filled with regret and anguish, they wept bitterly for the man who had given them everything, yet received nothing in return. As they stood there in the village that had once been their home, they vowed to honor their father's memory by living lives filled with compassion and gratitude, never again taking for granted those who loved them most. But deep down, they knew that no amount of success or wealth could ever replace the love of a father they had lost forever. If you were touched by this story, share your thoughts and where you're watching from in the comments below. To support me on this journey, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more interesting stories. Thank you!